What's up, streamers? Welcome to another edition of Free Talk Friday. As you can see, I don't have any guests with me tonight, so it's mostly going to be myself. So we're going to switch it up a little bit of the format. So the lady behind the boards got a few topics. I don't know what they are yet. She's going to throw them out to me, and you're going to get the enjoyment of seeing my raw, uncut, unfiltered, humble opinion. So, like I said, I don't know what they are yet. So on that note, throw some at me, honey.
All right. The Black Lives Matter out of Kentucky.
Out of Kentucky.
I believe it's in Kentucky that came out with the 10 lists.
Okay, I read about that.
Okay. And and a lot of it was
buy me a home.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, you know, many of them were prefaced with, if you are leaving in your will a home,
or you inherit a home,
and you're going to sell it anyways, leave it to a black or brown person. If you have a racist in your family, don't leave anything to them, just give it to a black or brown person, especially somebody from generational poverty and welfare.
Okay.
So
that's ignorant as fuck. like seriously. Like, I ain't gonna have shit to leave to anybody anyways. I don't think many people do. But who the fuck are you to tell people that they need to leave it to anybody? I don't care if it's a black, brown, fucking yellow, white. Why should anyone leave anything to anybody else? Like, I don't care how impoverished you are, how you feel you're impressed. What did you do to deserve that plot of land? I did see one of the things that if you have a house that's bigger than your needs, give it to a poor family. And it's like, why would I downsize my house to give you my house?
Well, okay, well here's
like, I don't understand the thought process. Like, go get a fucking job.
I mean, what's gonna happen is reality check, right? First thought, you're like, that would be nice of people. Here's a reality check. You wouldn't be able to pay the property taxes. It doesn't matter if the home is paid off. You'd never be able to afford it because you're in poverty. Secondly, if you're already in generational poverty, the likelihood that you live in a home paid by the rest of your neighbors.
Okay, so
how is that going to help you? You're going to be homeless.
I have a question. Let's say that there's some good folks out there.
Okay.
That want to adhere to these demands.
And that's cool. Right? And they can do that.
Well, whatever. But I have questions. Like, do they got to track down the poor black family? Or is there like a raffle?
Can there be a poor white family or a poor
No. It has
family?
to be a poor black family. Black Lives Matter demands
Asian
that.
Family?
That's what. No, because Asians are smart enough; they can figure it out. They have Asian. What's it
Supremacy?
called? No.
Brain power.
Well, they have privilege.
Oh, okay.
They have Asian privilege.
Okay.
You know.
But I'm saying, like, that you see there's a problem here. Like, even if I give you this, right?
Yeah, I get that. You can't afford it. But let's just say that even, like, in the will somewhere, it's going to be paid off.
Right.
How do you figure out which poor black family needs it more?
You're just going to go knock on somebody's door and be like, hey, I noticed you're poor. That's really degrading and really freaking rude.
I was wondering maybe they like at the funeral they gave out raffle tickets, and whoever's raffle ticket, like, that's the family that wins. Like, you know, Ed McMahon would come or somebody. You know, it's like publishing.
So in like the paper, you'd advertise like all poor black or brown people come to the funeral.
Okay, so when they say brown, do they mean like Hispanic brown or Middle Eastern brown?
No.
Or is it just...
I'm thinking because she wasn't like African black. Like, I don't know what part, and I know that sounds really shitty that I don't, but there's a part that they're very, very dark, and then you have the lighter shades, just like white people are in varying shades. Or we're all in varying shades of whatever. That's why this is crazy.
Because technically Italians are kind of
If
brownish.
you were like Greek or Sicilian when you came to Ellis Island, you were listed as black. On the paperwork, so
Mexicans actually, like, Hispanics wouldn't count because they're actually
European.
They're Caucasian, non-white.
Right.
So they're assed out.
Yeah, they don't get it. So
No,
anyways,
no,
we're going to be able to retain it, so it wouldn't matter. So you're still going to live in generational poverty. Why don't you turn around and go...
It would be another black man evicted.
Okay,
Even if they got the house.
Why don't they say something to Jay-Z to Beyonce. Why don't you be like, hey, why don't you buy me a home? One of the other demands was, if you're a housing developer, you should build an apartment complex just for brown and black people, and we all should be able to live there for free. As I said, if you're in generational poverty, you probably already live somewhere on other people's money.
I was going to say that they have that Section 8.
Yeah. It's already paid for, or at least subsidized. So I don't understand why you're looking at white people to do something and thinking they're the bad guys. You have plenty of people in the NFL. You have plenty of people in the NBA.
Yeah.
They all moved away.
Kaepernick?
Where do they live? You know where they live? They don't live in the ghetto with you. They worked their butts off, got the hell out of there, and never came back.
So Jay-Z should sell his house in the Hamptons, or P. Diddy, and...
Yeah, because they only have
actually, don't even sell it. Keep paying...
Why don't they just move people in?
Keep paying the rent and just move, a bunch of families in to their Hampton homes.
Because they're some of the richest people I know. Right? Like,
I don't actually know him.
Oprah? Where's Oprah at? Why ain't she buy you something?
Well, she got Stedman a house in the backyard.
I'm just saying, right? Some of their favorite people, like Barbara Streisand. She's the only person with green grass in California. So, I mean, because she imports water. So why don't you look at some of your heroes and say, how come you don't do anything? Right? Like, why is it got to be a white-black thing? That's what I don't understand. Right? Like, that, it's just so... And I can't imagine going up to a person and being like, you look poor. Let me give you something. If having been a poor person, I would be so offended. That's offensive. Like, I don't even think they realize how offensive that is.
One of the
Your victimhood is offensive.
One of the stinkiest, dirtiest, trashiest people I know, that's the way they look, is actually fucking loaded. His name was Boss Hog, and I knew him from my establishment. And the motherfucker stunk. He was dirty, always had overalls on. But he'll pull out wads of hundreds. And it's he just likes living that way. So, you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, I could go up to some random black person and assume they're poor. That would be rude as shit.
No, that'd be racist.
It's rude. It's just rude, right? But, I mean, anyways. All right. Next up.
No, hold on.
Oh, wait.
At the end of the day, that even thought process that would even gain some traction is ignorant. We should be looking for ways that people can acquire their own homes, that people can make a living. Like Trump said in his speech one of his speeches, he said that the racial tensions he thinks will dissolve by people being able to get jobs and getting out of debt and getting off welfare. So if people started to get better paying jobs and could actually buy their own homes, that would fix things. That's where we should be focusing on. Not how we can get more free shit and how somebody owes us something. Nobody owes anybody a damn thing but an opportunity. And as long as you got 2 hands, 2 fucking feet, and eyes and ears that fucking work, get your ass to work.
I've seen some hardworking people that don't even have all their limbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's motherfuckers that can...
I've seen some vets that they're still out grinding.
What was that? My left foot motherfucker was penciling shit with his foot.
Yeah. Anyways. All right. So.
Yeah, fuck.
So also, keeping with that concept.
Oh boy.
They also had some articles in the mainstream that don't have a Nazi haircut.
I'm fucked.
And the clothing, because in the Torch March in Charlottesville, they were all wearing khakis and a polo. So now that's racist.
Khakis and a polo?
Yeah. Macklemore came out and apologized, which, remember he apologized at his little award speech, but I didn't see him giving it away.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for appropriating, right? Anyways, he apologized for having a Nazi white supremacist haircut.
What does that look like? What is a white...
I guess it's the shaved with the long top, like the skater cut of the 90s, but shorter on top, right? Because we used to...
So I'm good. I got a little kind of like Caesar going.
Yeah, but if you're bald, because one of the Antifa people who's bald got beat up by one of his own because they thought he was a white supremacist because he's naturally bald. That came out too. He got punched in the mouth.
I did see where there was an Antifa and a Black Lives Matter guy fighting. Which
that was in Texas.
I'm not surprised because...
Well, they said uncover your face, right? Because you have unmasking laws in most of your southern states because of the Democrat KKK, right? So that's why they have those laws. So that's really offensive to be running around with a bunch of white people with their faces.
Okay, so the topic is our dress code.
Your clothes are racist, and so is your hair. And don't go bald because you might be a white supremacist. But Ben Carson's a white supremacist too, and so is what's the basketball? Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, he's also. They're calling him a white supremacist now too. And
I like
Ben
Charles
Carson.
Barkley.
I do too. I always thought he was hilarious. But anyways, so
basically, if I wear the wrong clothing, it means so. It's like a huge like Bloods and Crips type thing. You're wearing the wrong color or some shit.
Yeah.
That's ignorant as hell as well.
I just wanted you to know. I wanted our listeners.
Well, what happened to the Martin Luther King? Like, you judge a person by their actions, not by the color of the skin, not by his haircut, not by his fucking polo shirt.
There's some gays that are marching to get it torn down too.
Gays to get what?
Martin Luther King statue. I think it's in Georgia. It finally turned. Yeah, it finally happened. Somebody was like, "Well, it's not inclusive," so think about taking it down.
So we're just gonna tear down all fucking statues.
Yeah, we're just gonna go full on communist. We're gonna start from year zero.
So
full on communist.
Let's get rid of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, they're talking about that stone.
All the memorials in DC.
De Blasio's talking about reviewing even the Union ones, even the Union tombs and stuff. They're up there in New York.
Who fought to
free the slaves?
Free slaves.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of those guys.
Yeah. Somebody defaced Lincoln. Like 100-something-year-old statue.
I have yet to hear anyone call for Vladimir Lenin's. He has 4 different.
There was a small group that said.
Is there a small group?
There was a small group that went out and protested in Seattle, but there's like 5 of them, so they got a lot of ground to make.
There's even a bust of Stalin in New York.
Yeah, so
let's crush that motherfucker.
Which. So,
but I don't hear none of that. So. Like, it's funny that, they bring up Martin Luther King. I was actually talking to somebody at work about this, and we were talking about the monuments, and we both agreed that it was pretty fucking silly. And like I stated on my Charlottesville one, that a monument hasn't suppressed fucking anybody, hasn't oppressed anybody. It shouldn't affect you at all in life. There's things in life that, if you're going to go, well, this reminds me of bad times in life or in history. How many times you heard a song that, it reminds you when you broke up with your girlfriend or boyfriend? So are we going to ban that fucking song? No, we're not. Man the fuck up. Change the channel.
Right.
But anyways, I was talking to somebody about the monuments, and I brought up Martin Luther King, and they're like, whoa. I was like, well, for taking down things, and
gives a reference.
We're going to associate people by, 6 degrees.
Right.
Martin Luther King sat beside the... Brotherhood of Islam or Nation of Islam, the Brotherhood or whatever.
Yeah.
Farrakhan and all them. And
killed him,
Yep.
Sorry.
Anyways, but he stood beside them, and those people are against Israel. They hated Israel.
Right.
And the other group that opposes Israel, it's the Nazis. So technically, Martin Luther King was standing next to Nazis. If we're going to do that 3rd degree of separation, and
we're going to play that game. Right. Right, yeah.
Honestly, I think it's fucking silly.
Well, the communist Russia first sided with Germany in World War II.
Correct.
And then backstabbed Hitler. But they're still responsible for the death of more than what Hitler accomplished. At 100 million. Right? Communism killed 100 million. So by that proxy as well, being that he first sided in that direction, then the communists and the Nazis would still be on the same team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So haircuts and clothing, be on the lookout for that. But also, the subject came up that apparently here in our home state of Virginia, they sent we're looking for internet ideas on renaming Route 1, which...
it's Richmond Highway.
In Prince William County, I think starting Lorton or something. It's Jefferson Davis everywhere else. And then there's a Robert E. Lee High School they want to rename. And then anything else that's
they want to
associated
rename
with
Stonewall Jackson. I heard that.
Stonewall Jackson High and stuff like that. Yeah, they
Well,
want to rename it.
I think it was a year ago that they renamed Godwin.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's where they got the property. No. Wow. But they
Was it
renamed
Miles something Godwin or some shit like that?
something.
Yeah, they renamed that, and I know Corey Stewart was saying that ain't no fucking way in hell. But
Part of the problem is, in my opinion,
it would cost. See, here's the thing:
Yes.
it would cost tax dollars, and I looked this up. On average, just for the middle school, it was around $500,000 just to change the name. They said for high school, it's anywhere from like $750 up.
Yeah.
So $750,000 or more, depending on how much stuff they're going to change. You're not just changing the name outside. You got to change it in the phone books. You got to change it on all the pamphlets. You got to get new uniforms for fucking everything. Like everything is getting new. Like name.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, if you don't like the name, you don't like the statue, you don't like, it gives you an opportunity to talk about history. It gives you that opportunity, like, okay, who was this person? What? Give the facts out there. Was this person had some good qualities? Robert E. Lee was a hell of a general.
Yeah.
He's
a hell of a Virginian fighting for peace and quelling the.
He didn't even agree totally with the South.
No, he just didn't want to fight against Virginia. I mean, he could have been Ulysses S. Grant when he was first tapped by Lincoln, and it probably would have ended the war much, much faster because he was a better general and he was a better tactician than General Grant ever was. He could have been our president. He could have, but he didn't.
If I'm not mistaken, Grant actually owned slaves.
He did. He owned William Jones, I believe his name was. But anyways, but Lee did a huge effort here, at least in his home state of Virginia, to quiet down those that animosity and stuff like that, and that we're Americans. We're not just Virginians. We're Americans, and kind of that similar thing that people are arguing about today. Like, no, we're Americans. We're Americans. We're not black. We're not white. We're not. Screw all that. No, we're Americans. We all want.
Well, we should be.
We want taxing to be fair, and we want equal opportunity, not for equal outcome, but we want an equal opportunity to go from zero to amazing, right? Like Ben Carson. We want, right? That's what the American culture is.
Well,
and
that's the sad thing about reality. I'll say reality. This day and age, civilization, our society, where you take a Ben Carson, right? Mm-hmm. Grew up in Chicago, was poor, had a lot of things, happen throughout his life, and he made it. Became the number one brain surgeon, I believe, in the world, if not at least our country. But we look up to Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. It's like, that motherfucker can only dunk a ball.
Yeah. I mean...
we don't actually, like... There used to be a time where people looked up to their parents and their father. That's where the father figure,
Their pastors. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, it was community stuff.
Now you look up to people that you aspire to be, and that's fine.
But I think that most of it's money driven. It's not even... It's just, I want that.
But it's given this false sense of reality where I see it all the time. People feel entitled, they think that they're owed shit, and that they get into the workforce or whatever, and they're like, oh, I should make more money, I should be rich, and it's like, yeah, because you're listening to all this music and you're watching all the TV shows and sports and everything. You see the money that they're getting, and you think somehow, some way, you deserve that same thing, and it's like, no. Even if it's the shittiest rapper or shittiest basketball player or whatever the case, they at least grinded and perfected their craft well enough to make it. There's millions of failed athletes. There's millions of failed artists. But they all out there, they had to go through their struggles. You fucking wake up in the morning and just think that shit should be given to you.
Well, yeah. Or you. And one that gets me is the consumerism, and I know that we're a capitalist society. We like that, but I personally think there's a difference in investing in your future, investing in the world that you're trying to create around you, and then buying things, like just buying overpriced dumb stuff because you want to look like that video, you want to look like that person on TV, and I'm like, that is crazy.
Well, a lot of these people are the first people that say we need to help our communities, but then they turn around and get a sneaker endorsement, and what kid can actually afford them? Jordans are $100 and some a pair.
And
which are the LeBrons, the Durants, and shit like that.
I mean, he can charge whatever he wants for them, right? Like,
that's fine, but are you really trying to help your community? Because you know the people that are going to be attracted to wearing these sneakers are those people.
Your fans, right? Your fans.
Yeah. You won't catch me dead in a pair of Jordans. I can't afford them. I'd rather pay my mortgage.
Yeah. A lot of times saying, like, you save up to buy a house rather than 20 pairs of shoes. Like, come on, dude, right? Like, that's your ticket out of wherever it is that you don't like. You can save up and get the hell out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that goes back to the thought process that I've talked about. And, this one might get me in a little bit of trouble. But, oh well. So, at the end of the day, poor people, and there's no color to this, but poor people, right? When they leave their house and they maybe got some bummy clothes or whatever, right? They look around and they see other people and they don't want to... They're ashamed of how they're dressed or what they're wearing or maybe the home they're living in, maybe their parents' car, whatever the case, right? So they're not thinking about really the far future. What they're thinking about is, how can I not look like this anymore? Because at the end of the day, they don't respect themselves, so they question how can anybody else respect them. And it's about like pride and respect. The same thing, guys want girls. I don't know about today. People are fucking weird. But you want to be attractive.
Right.
Right? So, if you're wearing some bummy stuff, the girl that you would like to talk to is probably going to talk to somebody else, typically.
Okay.
So you feel the need to get yourself put together, right? And you can still look nice, but, people get that false sense of reality that, the pair of sneakers and the nice jeans and this little, the fake watch. Like, I see so many people with fake-ass diamond earrings and fake watches and shit like that. And it's like, you're trying to put on a look that's not real anyways. Just to make yourself feel better.
I think it becomes a state of mind, right? It's like, this is a reality that you are totally in control of. It's going to take some hard work, and it's going to take some grind, and it's going to, like we like to say, go get him an attaboy, to pull yourself out of that. And you can have whatever you want. But it becomes a state of mind that you're not like, oh, I have recently found myself to be in some financial situations as much as I am poor. Like, that's part of who you are. And it's like, no. It never has to be part of who you are. It's just what's happening around you in the moment, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it gets in your mind. Yeah. Right? And I think that happens to rich people, too. Because you hear about, like, rich assholes, right? The suburbanite, the yuppies and stuff like that, right? And they're jerks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they make all this money and they want to tell people a bunch of baloney. Like, most of the, progressives in Congress, ladies, are all like that. They all make tons of money. Maxine Waters, $4.3 million, does not live in her poverty-stricken area and then wants to tell people about being poor. Like, what the hell do you know about being poor? You don't know anything about it, and you're not helping the situation either. Well, right? Like, you're not doing anything.
These cheerleaders...
Yeah, they want people to champion them.
No, the cheerleaders of poverty, right?
The poverty pimps.
Yeah. It's just a hustle. It's a hustle.
It's the race hustle of poverty pimps.
They don't give a fuck about you. They care about your vote. Yeah. That's it.
I'm going to keep doing these things. And everybody claps because they want a champion because they've convinced you that you can't do it. Only they can help you. No, you can help you. You know what I mean? And it's sick. It's sick. It's a sick mind thing that happens, and it, like, infuriates me, right? Like, I don't need your help. I need you to get the hell out of my way so I can be awesome.
Well, no, Well, I think it's sick because you keep seeing this white privilege portrayed out there. You keep seeing this, that this white supremacy's been holding people down and all that shit, and they peddle this bullshit, this narrative. At the end of the day, what they're basically saying is that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that for a second. If that was the case, you wouldn't have Ben Carsons.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Obamas.
Yeah.
Being that I just like the guy.
You wouldn't have Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell. I mean...
You wouldn't have thousands of people.
I mean, the list goes on forever. They came up from nothing, and Eminem, even, whatever, right? Like, doesn't matter what color you are of poverty, right? Like, what he did, he grinded. Right? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whichever way you want to look at it, right? Like, that's, it's disgusting.
Well, I think it's funny. There's a lot of these people that shoot this narrative, right? And that get the regular people believing this shit is the epitome of the American dream to begin with. You take these athletes, you take these politicians, you take these artists. Well, no, you take these artists, like for 50 Cent, for example. Been in and out of jail, been shot 9 times, damn near close to a billionaire.
Yeah.
That is the epitome of the American dream. Now, no one gave him shit. No one just gave him a handout. Nobody gave P. Diddy a handout. Nobody even gave LeBron James a free pass.
No, he had to work, and every day after school, he's out there shooting hoops, working his game. I mean, that's what it is, right? And I think it's a shame.
Now, he has natural ability.
I think it's a shame that you have all of these minds, like we were talking about the other day, that, like I said, people who sell drugs, not like your average, putz on the corner, but like actual, right?
Real criminals?
They have a, think if they push that into something productive, right? That wasn't poisoning their own community, that's not making money off the backs of their own, right? Whether it's the Italian mob, right, with white people, or, the blacks right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is across the board, right? But, because you have the prohibition and the, moonshine and stuff. But they have this mind for business. Just think if they had put it in something else. I mean, that creativity, that drive, if they put it somewhere, like, that is, selling drugs is not the only way to do it. Yes, do you get rich quick? Yes, but
you do see a lot of
have a
people
long term.
Like, you do see a lot of, like, hip-hop artists who transitioned that form of life into something, legit money. Where the stuff they were rapping about, they probably experienced a little bit in their past, but they took that hustle and just moved it. Now, it always takes money to make money, and that's the kicker. I have a bunch of great ideas. I have ideas how to expand this show in 100 different ways, but without the currency, it's hard to get that off the ground. But you got to chip away at it, and a lot of times people want that instant gratification.
Yeah, I just
shit doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I just think it's sad, right? Like, you see people talk about our incarceration rate in the United States, and it's outrageous, and it is, right? But you're like, these minds that could be doing so many other things, right? Like, what led you to make this choice, whether it's stealing or drugs? I'm not saying everybody in jail, that's what happens. Sometimes it's bullshit, and I understand, right? Like, I understand that sometimes it's bullshit. The system did work against you. Like, I'm not saying that as much as me personally, I support the police, I know that there are bad police out there.
I've had my ass whooped by police before.
Right? Like, I know this, right? Like, that isn't what, you're saying, right? But it's just a shame to me that isn't capitalized on. That isn't what's focused on. It's give me money. It's let's get a bunch of people to say Black Lives Matter, because of course Black Lives Matter. Duh. Right? Of course they do. Nobody can disagree with it. If you do, then they call you a racist, right? So they convince everybody that but you look at it and you go, And the chance that they say, and you're like, no, that's just not the way, man. You can't say, well, do we want dead cops? What do we want them now? Well, and then some of those things, like, this is...
The Black Lives Matter...
Destructive.
The Black Lives Matter movement is bullshit.
Well, it's destructive. It's not helpful.
It's a terrorist group.
Yeah.
I'll go on the record and say that.
I won't say all the sects of them, but the ones...
No, I'm not saying every affiliate.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like they have chapters or whatever.
The people that are actually running the shit is Soros...
They
funded
got money.
terrorists.
They got money.
Yeah, same thing with Antifa. You know, I think the fucking supremacist fucking groups, same fucking thing.
Just let me interject right there. If you look it up, known KKK members in the United States, like
it was only like 5,000.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 to 5,000, right? Now they're saying, oh, there's millions. That's not true, right? That's just it's not true. They're not hiding, but I'm saying, like...
I'm sure the number could potentially be larger. They're not documented. I think you could see a rise in numbers of not so much KKK or any specific title.
Yeah.
I think you could see, and I think I brought it up on the last video, that with this type of suppression of free speech... And when you have others talking about white people owe this, all white people are bad, all whites are racist.
Yeah, they said white women should have abortions and pay for black women to have babies.
Well,
I mean, that was an article in like a feminist magazine, and you're like... Ugh.
That type of stuff is going to make a lot of white people feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So you're feeding that beast. And that, honestly, that I've said before, that's their goal. They love an all-out riot, fucking war between... The
division. Yeah. Well, I mean, what's crazy is that the exact people who... there's a lot of people. There's been black pastors here recently. I don't know if you saw that one. That all came out against Planned Parenthood.
And they should.
But these are the same people that they want to stop. White women, you should stop having
the single most racist...
Stop going to Planned Parenthood.
I'll tell you what.
The single most racist.
I'll tell you what, folks. The single most racist group toward black people is Planned Parenthood.
What are the 266 black lives every day?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
just killing y'all.
Black babies aborted.
You can hate KKK. You can hate the cops. You can hate white people in general. Planned Parenthood kills more of y'all.
Come together, y'all. Come together. Right? Like, I can't believe that...
Like, I'm kind of sickened by the actuality that... So... After the slavery days or whatever, the black population was 14% of the population.
Yeah, like 13-14%, right?
Today, now, as far as actual numbers, yes, the population has grown, but a percentage, they're only 12.
Yeah.
They should have raised their numbers quite drastically.
As long as white people.
Yeah.
I mean,
their numbers should be at 25-30%?
Yeah. And then...
But when you have things like Planned Parenthood that take place, that kill hundreds and hundreds of black babies who never have a chance.
Yeah.
And then you have hundreds and hundreds of black kids being murdered in streets like Chicago, Baltimore. You name any inner city.
Yep.
It's sickening.
Well, and
that's the shit that's what we should be marching for.
And then you have that attack on the family. They had stronger family, like legitimacy, family numbers pre-civil rights, like through Jim Crow, through all the horrible shit of our history, right?
They had more of the family intact.
Yeah. They were more church-going, more intact families. They had their own businesses. They were actually, right, like... doing really, really well. Right up until LBJ said what he said, right, about it, and then gave everybody welfare, right? And it's like, oh my God.
He said this one posse will keep the blacks voting for us for 200 years.
Yeah, but blacks wasn't the word that he used.
Yes, I know that.
All right. So if anybody wants to look it up, right? But, so that idea that you have women, right, because a lot of people say, well, you know, Republicans are all against the welfare state. Yeah, because it's not good for you. It's not good for you, right? Like we had this conversation a few minutes ago. Like it's not good for you for me to give you something and you not earn it. One, you're not going to respect it. Two, you're not going to be able to keep it, right? So, anyways, so it's like, yeah, no, I don't agree with the welfare state. It's fucking bad for you. It's like eating candy. It's bad for you. It's bad for you. It's bad for everybody, right? Because if you try to get off that plantation, you actually start making a little money, they're going to take it all from you to send it back to the poverty you left. And you're still going to be struggling, but you can't get the help to get past that in-between point, right? Like, that's how it works. So they keep you on it. Well, I better not work. I better not take that raise because it isn't enough to cover what I'm about to lose, right? So it's you got to game the system. And it's sick, right? And I'm not blaming people for gaming the system either.
The system is flawed.
Oh, big time.
And it needs reform 100%. It needs reform.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not one of the type of righties that say that there should be no welfare at all. Because I believe in helping people in need, in true need. And the people that are willing to help themselves.
Sometimes bad shit happens, man. You stumble and it's like, oh shit, hold on.
Everybody deserves a little bit of a hand up. But you can't be dragged and carried.
No.
I'm not just going to throw you on my shoulders and like, yeah, let's do this.
Well, and then they've created.
You know, people come on hard times because I know this firsthand. I've benefited from the welfare state. I've had food stamps. I've had my electric paid for. However, I continued to grind and work and pick up a second job and as many shifts as I could to make as much money as I could to get myself out of that predicament, right? And all along as I'm getting promoted, and get the second job, and they want to give me a little bit of a raise. Each time at the office, the counselor or whoever is like, "Don't take that raise. Cut your hours. Don't pick up a second job. Don't take the promotion.
Yeah.
We're going to take this from you. We're going to take that from you. It's in your best interest."
No, they're the hustlers.
Yeah. It's in your best interest not to do this.
It's other people's money, right? It's other people's money. It's not, the government doesn't have money. And this is what I can't believe people don't understand. The government doesn't have any money. So when you're championing all these civil rights and everything that's now under civil rights, which are only for black people, that pisses me off that it's used for trannies and gays and all this stuff. No, that is specifically for black people. That's it. They got it because they were the most shoved down by the Democratic Party and Jim Crow laws and poll taxes. No, right? You only get civil rights. Everything else is not a civil rights issue. No. If I were a black person, I would be fighting against that.
Speaking of the Democrats,
but to make my point, it's you have to game the system the way it's set up, but it's not helping anybody. And the government doesn't have money. It collects everybody's money and then decides where it needs to go. Most of the time what the government does is just create more jobs, more government jobs for people to tell you what to do, right? Like, even in the healthcare thing, the navigator system costs like some ridiculous millions of dollars, and those are the people that you call because you can't figure out the stupid system. So those people got jobs, those people got some money, but it never made it to the people. It didn't actually make it to the poor. You could have skipped that step altogether and just given it to people who needed care, who needed shit, right? The same money. But no, now it's going to jobs. And now they want to take more money from the public to fund this stuff. It never makes it. The more government you want, it never gets there. It just gets bigger and bigger and keeps feeding itself. Well, it's ridiculous.
That's the end game. They want a big government. They want government to be the state.
Well, Angela wants communism, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what it's head for them. But when you said Democrats, it reminded me of telling somebody about, the Charlotte riots or whatever, and I was like, oh, it was old Democrats versus new Democrats.
Right?
Nothing's changed.
No.
Like, those weren't Republicans down there.
No.
And I'm not even a fucking Republican.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm more of a conspiracy theorist centrist.
Yeah,
I'm a Trump supporter.
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter, Like, yeah.
All right, throw me another one.
All right.
Throw me another one.
So, all right, we're on this. All right. So the NYPD earlier this week came out championing Kaepernick and telling people to protest the NFL till he gets signed.
Okay.
LaShawn Mashoy came out and said he's got too many issues. He's not good enough to get a job.
Okay.
Hello.
I've been waiting to talk about Kaepernick.
I know it. I know you love football. Everybody loves football.
Okay, so I'm going to have to break this down in a couple different sectors. Right. Okay, The idea about the New York Police Department champion...
It's crazy to me.
I think they're just trying to have, like, some face value. Honestly, I think that's a gimmick.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they don't get shot this week.
I don't know.
So I dismissed that. I don't even give a shit.
I don't even know if they're really from the police department. Maybe it was like one guy, but then you have Linda Sassor. You know, and her.
Don't get me started on that cockroach.
Oh my God, she came out. Sorry, let me interject. You can come back to this. We'll talk about Kaepernick, but let me just say she came out. I want to say today. You know, before she said she wanted jihad against Trump. Today she said she wanted people to rise up against the Zionist Christians. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I can't stand it. I'm like, get her out of here. I feel like a Trump. Get her out of here. Get her out of here. Don't give her a coat.
She's an antagonist, and she's
crazy. Yeah, it's cool to cut off your clit. It's cool to not feel anything during sex. Yeah, FGM is awesome. No, lady, that you're crazy. And I'm not wearing a bed sheet either. And I can't believe the free the nipple people on the left are championing someone who wants you in a bed sheet from forehead to ankle. You crazy.
They, most of them are atheists, right?
Yeah, they're the first to go.
A lot of these on the left are atheists. And it's like, so you hate religion, but they want to dress you up like a fucking nun. And not only that, if you don't believe in their fucking ruler god, you die too. Yeah,
they're gonna go first. That's what I'm saying. Like you're championing somebody who's gonna kill you first.
You can go, oh, we respect and it's free will and love for everybody, and they're like, no, dude, Allahu Akbar, and fucking stab you. You're a useful
it's
fucking
my way
tool.
or the highway religion, right?
Yeah.
And they can have that in their country. They got 50 of them. There's 50
Talk about
of them.
fascist.
Right? There's 50 of those countries. You can have that all you want. That's cool. But I don't want any parts of it. I am not interested. So,
no, I'm not interested.
Go back. Kaepernick. You don't even know what Kaepernick. Give me a beer. Please.
I don't practice that Sharia. I don't want it for my law. If I had $1 billion, I'd build the wall. Anyways. Kaepernick. So, yeah, fuck the police department. That's a gimmick. So, on Kaepernick. And I stated this last year when he started the protest. So I'm going to start there. He wasn't doing anything for anybody but himself. And he didn't even mean to do it. Right? Honestly, I see it as he was a crybaby bitch. Right? He was throwing a temper tantrum. If you remember correctly, at the end of the season before that, he lost his starting job to a bust quarterback to Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert played the last, I think it was 7 games, and outperformed him. Statistically, outperformed him. And I think won one more game than Kaepernick won for the 49ers. Now, the 49ers hasn't been a good organization since Jim Harbaugh was there and whatever. So you can blame part of his struggles on, bad coaching, bad players.
Team dynamics.
The team. Yeah. Okay. However, the guy's just doesn't seem to be a great team player either. There's been reports that he's not the greatest locker mate. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyways, he loses his job, starting position at the end of the year before. So then preseason comes last year, and he decides he's going to sit down during the anthem. I don't believe that he was making a statement about what he said he was making a statement for. I believe he knew he wasn't starting the game. He knew he wasn't playing in the game, right? So why stand up? Why be a part of it? Once again, he's being a bad teammate. And when they asked him about it, he had to come up with something quick on his feet, right?
He just had all those shootings and stuff.
Yeah, so he blamed it on the shootings and this and that, when actually, I think he was being a fucking crybaby. Now, if you want to talk about him being blackballed by the league, there might be some of that going on, but it's not just because of his protesting. At the end of the day, he's not a good enough quarterback to start for a team. He's just not.
Well, he's a backup. No, he's going to pay him that kind of money to be a backup.
Well, yeah, he potentially, if he made a team, would probably most likely be a backup, barring injury.
Right.
Right? A couple teams thought about it. but decided to go elsewhere. And I don't blame them for the fact that he's a distraction. For the amount of skill that the guy has, which isn't very much, right?
Right.
To go along with the distraction it would be and the amount of money it would cost to have him as your backup, it doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, the NFL is a business. It's not a political establishment. It's not here to make anybody feel wanted, unwanted, any of that shit. It's there to put the best team possible on the field and entertain people. Right? You could see last year, and ESPN is fucking stupid because they keep bringing up Kaepernick. You've seen last year that the numbers did dip for ESPN. That's why they had to fire a bunch of people. And that's because they kept fucking talking about it. People check into football to get away from reality. They want to see people get hit. They want to see, big plays and touchdowns. That's what they tune in for. Not to hear what you think about gun control, Black Lives Matter, protesting, or any of that fucking shit. They don't want to hear about Trump. They want to see good football. Right? So they tuned ESPN out because ESPN just kept throwing this shit at them. Kaepernick. Trump. So yeah, they lost a lot of their viewership. I don't blame that. NFL Network's kicking your ass, and they're even talking about this shit. People don't want to hear this shit. Like, football, other than the games, has become like background noise. You turn the shit on and kind of do other shit. You wash your dishes or something. All you want to know is who's playing, who's hurt, what's going on. That's it. People enjoy playing fantasy football more than they like actually watching the games nowadays.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, Kaepernick, I've heard, Jay Cutler just got a deal and that guy sucks. Well, if you statistically look at it, Jay Cutler has better statistics. Kaepernick, yes, took a team to the Super Bowl into a championship game, but he didn't actually take them to that. Their defense and running game did. He was just a part of it. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with Baltimore and was replaced the next year by Elvis Grbac. So just because you're the quarterback doesn't mean you're not replaceable. Right. He had a little bit of athleticism. He throws weird as shit. His mechanics are god awful. And if you listen to anybody talk about his mechanics, they'll say the same. He had that RG3 shit going on when he first came in the league. People weren't sure how to stop that shit. Guess what? After 2 seasons, people picked it up, just like the Wildcat.
Well, RG3 don't have a job either.
Rightfully so. The only difference between an RG3 and Kaepernick is that Kaepernick's a little bit more durable. The stats both are pretty shitty.
Well, yeah. RG3 had the knees and...
Yeah.
So... Kaepernick doesn't have a job because of his politics. He doesn't have a job because he's not a quality quarterback.
No.
Is that what you're saying? And he's immature.
He doesn't have the skill set to go along with that distraction.
Okay.
If he was Tom Brady, people would be like, I don't give a fuck if he stands or not. Go win me a championship.
Okay. Yeah.
He's not that guy. At the end of the day, if Colin Kaepernick really wanted a job, he wouldn't have opted out of his $108 million contract that he had with San Francisco. He opted out of that. So that shows a little bit of, where the fuck's your head, dude? I don't know if I want to bring a guy that's willing to opt out of a $108 million contract that is well overpaid to bring you onto my team when you're also going to be a distraction. There's obviously something not clicking in your fucking head.
Well,
and I got my own personal issues with Kaepernick. He's so pro-black now, and it's like, you're half black for one, and you never knew your black side because you didn't know your dad. You actually didn't really even know your mom, and
you were adopted by rich white people.
Yeah. So how black really are you? How much do you really know about the black struggle, as they say?
I mean, I know he gives a bunch of money to charity now, which is good.
Well,
I'm glad
that's
fine.
Humbled
him. That's a good thing.
That's cool. But him coming out talking about the hardships of being black in the black community is actually worse than me saying it. Now, as far as I know, I don't have any black in my bloodstream. I might. I don't fucking know. I haven't done a DNA test or whatever. But I actually grew up
Well, it shouldn't matter because when
in
we talk about
neighborhoods.
stuff, we talk about poverty. We talk
Yeah,
about real issues
I grew up
that affects everyone.
in neighborhoods that was poverty stricken. So I seen all that shit. He grew up in a nice, comfy, fucking living home.
Got to go to college.
Yeah.
Got to play for millions of dollars, and then all of a sudden.
So now all of a sudden you want to identify you get. It's kind of funny if you look at the timeline. He married
the DJ chick from the or not DJ, but she's the mouthpiece on a radio show, right?
Once he got married, I want to say that she's like Muslim and pro, almost like, I'm not gonna say pro ISIS, but kind of like extreme.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden
has some extreme views, and then all of a sudden he's that way. And other people are like, oh no, he was great or whatever. But if you remember back when Aaron Hernandez had his murder shit first go off, and he had all the tattoos, and they were connecting things, they were talking about Kaepernick potentially being part of some shit. No, he denied it.
They drafted on the same year?
Maybe.
Or around
the same time.
Yeah, about the same age.
So.
Because his age all tatted up too.
Yeah, is he, gang affiliated? I don't really know. But I know that was a distraction to the team that season.
Okay.
Same thing with Deshaun Jackson. So he's been a distraction his whole time there. Whether it was he was taking the starter's job, whether he was a gangbanger or a protester. Or is he good enough to even start? I mean, he's been a distraction.
Yeah.
And from my outlook and a lot of other people's outlook, he's a crybaby.
Well, then he showed up to practice right after all that with the Che Guevara shirt, and you're like, dude, he's a murderer. Are you kidding me? Like, come on.
So he likes communism.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much my shit on Kaepernick. Honestly, like I said, it all started from him being a crybaby bitch, and he doesn't really deserve a job. He might have enough athletic ability that would warrant a backup, but not for everything that comes with it. The squeeze ain't worth the juice.
All right. Next one. Since we talked a little shit here, how about the 6 police that were murdered this week in cold blood, like randomly?
Disgusting.
There was 2 in Kissimmee. I want to say 2 in another part of Florida that I can't.
Jacksonville?
Maybe Jacksonville, and then there was 2
There
more.
was Pennsylvania?
Was it Pennsylvania?
I think there was 2.
But look, I could see if you were like there was a guy earlier this week who shot a judge, and the judge shot him and killed him, right? And come to find out that the judge
was overseeing his case.
Not his case, his son's case, because his son did something atrocious.
Yeah, I seen something about that.
Right, okay.
It was when he was walking into work, right?
Yeah, so he stopped him, so he planted him out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying you should be shooting people. Like I just don't agree with violence to get your point across, like at all, right? Like that's my big issue with Antifa, white supremacy. Like
by
you
force.
bunch of fucking haters and by force, right? And then you champion the government to do more force, and I just don't like it. But anyways, that I can almost be like, well, okay, he was pissed off, right, at a specific person for a specific reason. The cold-blooded killing of the murder of the police is bullshit. The Dallas police guy...
Well, it was all 6 of those police officers who were shot. Were they responding, or were they sitting in the car? Like,
I think one responded to...
Because, if they're responding to, an active event, I can almost see that. Not saying it's right or wrong or whatever, but, you play cops and robbers when you're growing up. You're trying to get away.
Do you want to hear something racist? We played Cowboys and Indians when I was a kid.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, but the Indians always won at my house. Cowboys were always the bad guy, I guess because of my dad. Right? Just to let everybody know. We played Cowboys and Indians. The Indians always won. Cowboys were the bad guys. Fun fact.
That's because your dad's part Indian.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, what's troubling is all 6 of these murders were kind of buried in the mainstream media. I can't find a lot of information. I know most of them are reported that it was in cold blood. They might have been responding to something non-consequential. They're not responding to a shootout. They're not responding to a thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If someone's armed robbery,
maybe a
shooting already or something,
issue or something, but they were
actually.
So
you know what I'm more sickened by, and I don't know if you even heard this news article or topic. and it's somewhat local. It's in the, I think, Northern Virginia, D.C. metropolitan area, where a mother, and I haven't got all the details, but a mother came home, and her 3 children, or something, there was 3 children murdered.
Right.
In the house.
Okay.
Ages from like 6 to 10.
Okay.
She came home early in the morning, ages 6 to 10, were murdered, 3 of them. There was a 2-year-old in the crib still alive. Come to find out, it was the uncle. And I think one of the kids was like his daughter.
Ugh. What?
Yeah, and I haven't got to get all the details, but I'm like, one, where the fuck was the mother? Who was watching the kids?
Right.
Was it the uncle was watching the kids and the mother was maybe at work? I don't really know. But that to me was just like, I heard it on the radio at first, and then I went trying to look it up, didn't get a lot of information, but like I damn near like started to tear up in the car, and I was like, holy fuck, like who could do that? I don't care, like my kids are annoying.
But I love them.
Yeah, I love them.
I've never
what would possess you?
Ever. There's been stories, about people like, I'm going to kill the kids if you don't do what I want, right? Like an abusive relationship, right? And I'm, like, as much as I'm pro-family, I'm still very much pro-woman of, like, no, get the fuck out of there. Fuck that, right? Don't take that shit, right? Like, no. Right?
The only way I can see ever harming your child or killing your kid, your own kid. I mean, obviously, if your kid's
like
older,
one of those like movie scenes where it's like I'm trying to save them from you're right.
Like obviously, if your kid like is older and points a gun and is trying to kill you, yeah, fucking take them out. But is like if you know they're about to die the worst.
They're gonna be raped or something.
Yeah,
right?
like something like that.
Like I'm saying, like some movie scene set up, like you're abducted and like
you see the raid coming.
Kaiser Sose, right? He's like, I'd rather they all die than live another day after this, right? And as he kills every one of them, like a Kaiser Sose type of way, right? Like kills his wife and all his kids.
Kind of see that,
right? I get it.
But just the cold blood, like
it's crazy. It's sick. I don't understand cold-blooded killings. Like, they didn't do anything to you. Like, that's why I brought up the judge issue. No, you shouldn't be shooting judges because you disagree. Your son apparently did wrong. Maybe he didn't. I don't know, right? But just for the sake of discussion, right? The way I read it is that dude did it, and then he got locked up, and so the dad retaliated. And I'm like, crime, if it was placed on... This is the thing about crime that gets me. A lot of crime is senseless. A lot of deaths are senseless. If it's person on person because you wronged me, right? Like, it's a crazy thought, but it's a rational thought.
I think OJ was innocent the second time.
That too, but right, like
he's still my shit, yeah.
Right. But so I think most people go. I mean, you look at it like a drug deal, street deals, right? Like your dude is on my turf, right? Like back in the mob era, right? And so, like, if you don't handle it, I'm gonna handle it, right? So you might kill one of your own because they messed up, right? And you understood the boundaries, right? But the senselessness, right? Like the Dallas cop shooting, right? And him shooting nothing but white cops and being a black supremacist, right?
Oh no! He was a lone wolf. He wasn't.
Well, no, you gonna broad brush one,
no,
you broad brush them all,
no,
right? So. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what goes through your mind, dude? That you don't know those. They didn't wrong you, right? Like, even if you're wrong, but you're not really wrong because you made shitty life decisions, right? Like, in the drug game, like, well, you're making, at the end of the day, you made shitty life decisions, right? Like, that's what happened. But anyways, right? There's still a sense of, right, like, balancing that the human mind goes through. And the senselessness, it's like, you didn't know that, dude. 2 of them were black. Like, what did they do? And then I know at Boston, they had a woman who's on tape screaming at a black police officer saying, you're supposed to be on our team, you fucking bitch, and like spitting at him. And I'm like, oh my God. Dude, they're doing this shit on purpose. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Just stop.
That's one thing I don't understand about the black community. And hey, I got some black viewers watching. Please hit me up. Call Call me, text me. If you got my number, leave a comment, something.
Like, I don't care if it's a dirty cop and you can prove it, right?
Explain this to me. The idea about snitching in the black community, like, nobody's going to throw the other person under the bus. You're not going to snitch. But then again, you hate white cops.
But you hate the black cops, too.
So when you want your police force to look like you, because
or maybe be from your neighborhood. Like, why isn't there an infiltration? Right? To keep the peace, keep the killings to a minimum. Right?
Yeah, if there's such a problem with white police officers killing black people in the black communities, why wouldn't you want more black police officers to kind of like regulate that shit?
Or at least understand the struggle.
Why do they become a coon or a sellout or a traitor or whatever that? Why won't you turn over the person that's causing your neighborhood harm and making your neighborhood like that?
And feeding them drugs. Like,
because I mean,
crime breeds poverty. Poverty does not breed crime.
At the end of the day, like, I always hear, like, you don't understand.
They don't understand the struggle.
White people bring in the drugs, and, there's a liquor store and this and that on every corner. And it's like, at the end of the day, there's free will. You don't have to purchase that.
Why didn't a black person own that liquor store, right? Like, you could be a business owner.
Don't own the liquor store.
Or whatever, right?
Boycott. If you want to boycott something, boycott the liquor store. Boycott the people that are putting you in this fucking position in the first place. Boycott that shit. Tell the drugs to get the fuck out of your neighborhood. Tell the liquor store owner, get the fuck out of my neighborhood. Yeah. Stop giving them the money. It's all business. No respectable business is going to come into your neighborhood and try to start something that's going to be healthy for your neighborhood when everybody's fucking it up. If you clean up your streets a little bit, right, and stop allowing everybody to just get drunk and do drugs and gang violence and shit like that. No, get that out of there. Suppress the business owners. If you don't you think it's the white person or it's the Hindu market or whatever the case is, who's putting that on your street corner to fuck up your neighborhood, boycott them. Don't let them win then.
Why don't they march in front of those and say, stop buying it. We're better than this, right? Like, some of the greatest inventors were black, right? Like, you think about this in history. And it's like, what has been lost between abortion, gang violence, and like that sort of mentality, and that, oh my God, like, it makes me sick. Like, oh my God, think about where we could be.
Actually march to
on the destruction of your own community, man.
On that, march against the laws.
Yeah.
So I agree 100% that some of these drug laws are locking people up, not just black people, but there's a lot of black people being locked up because of the drug laws it's ludicrous.
Well, it's dumb.
Well,
but
there's no reason that marijuana should carry the same type of terms as cocaine.
Well, then they say like something with Bill Clinton was like the cocaine laws versus the crack laws. It was like higher for crack than it was cocaine. You're like, how's that possible? Right? Like, that's crazy. I want to say I've heard that argument too.
Crack becomes a little bit more addictive.
Yeah, I understand, but obviously when you look at history, right?
People say that white people do the cocaine and black people do smoke crack, but I've met many white crackheads, and actually the biggest thing is fucking heroin now, and we really need to do something to stomp that the fuck out, because that is just an epidemic that is, it's
what's sad to me is
it's disgusting.
Is that with the drugs and stuff, right? And it's like, you make that choice to do the drugs, right?
It's free will.
To escape from your poverty, to escape. Right? I get.
I'm drinking a beer right now.
Yeah, I get the addiction thing, right? I'm right, and I'm not like throwing shade at it, but it's like, that is something that I would champion. That is something that a lot of people would champion, to actually make change in an area, right? Mm-hmm. Like, stop buying the liquor, stop spending the money on drugs, stop it, right? That is something that affects everybody, that we, the people down here that they want to fight, right, would champion together in a big way that would affect everyone, and it would change future generations, right? But then you see these like leaders of the Black Lives, and you got like Ashley Shackelford that's like, don't show up at my rally, white people. And you're like,
don't get me started on
oh
that
my
bitch.
God. And you're like, you are the worst. And I wish that people would shout her down that actually want change, that want a difference, right? Because I'm all about that, right? Like personal responsibility and personal change. Like we are in control of what I see. If my neighborhood is doing something shitty, I'm going to call them out on it. It's my duty as my neighbor, right? You're going to trash my neighborhood. Don't be like that. Clean this shit up, right? You do that. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Don't be a snitch.
I'm going to go directly to my neighbor, right? Like, I'm not going to snitch him out. I'm going to go directly to my neighbor and be like, hey, dude, right? Like, you can't be doing that shit, right? That's dangerous. Or you're fucking shit up, right? Anyways.
You fucking up,
You're fucking up my program, too, right? Like,
yeah, because if there's a bunch of, fucking
shit
engines and broke down cars and trash everywhere.
Then you bring in snakes, you're bringing mice, you're bringing roaches, now you're wrecking my house. No, I'm not gonna have
you're bringing down the value of the property.
Absolutely. And it's like, look, dude, I'll even help you I'll even pitch in and help you clean it up if you're having a problem. But you can't be having this, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna take that next step. But people don't confront other people. People don't be the change they want to see. And it's like, oh my God, this could change so much. And then it's like, well, you're a Trump supporter, so you're a racist, you're a Nazi, you're white, so you're this. And I'm like, oh my God, like...
You're non-human.
Oh, it just kills me. It just kills me because it's like this idea that if you say, well, I vote a Republican, then you're not human. That you don't actually care about poor people. You don't actually care about social issues. That you don't care. And it's like, yeah, I very much care. Because I disagree with, like, the progressive craziness. Because I do care, and I don't think they're being helpful. I think it's hurtful. You know? And then you have people like, don't show up, don't be, and you're like, oh man, this is something I actually agree with you, you know?
Well, America is imploding on itself.
It's crazy.
And it's cultural Marxism. I've said it time and time again. I'll continue to say it, and we all need to call it out for what it is. It's a push toward communism, and actually at the moment they're winning. They're winning the push. That's why more people need to start YouTubes. They need to go out in the corner. They need to have that conversation. You need to put the foot down. Stop giving a blind eye. Stop giving a free pass. If there's a bad argument out there, I'm going to fucking correct it.
Yeah, I agree.
Call me what you want. Like, I hear for this call of get people fired. Get me fired, motherfucker, actually. I dare you. Somebody get me fired and find out who it is, I'm going to fuck you up. Besides the point, like, that type of shit is just ignorant as shit.
Yeah.
So you can't have your own opinion. I haven't said anything racist, hating, or anything like that in this whole thing. But people could take it, oh, well, he said this, he doesn't agree with this outlook, so he must be racist.
Or this movement, this agenda. And I'm like, no, I think they're using you for fodder.
I don't give two shits about the statues, but I think the people making a ruckus about it is fucking idiots. And your focus is on the wrong thing.
Yeah, I think it's a moment to learn. I think it's a moment to be like, look how far we've come. Look how much more we can do, right?
Yeah.
Like, take that as a challenge, right? Not
to go back to the statues. There was a guy that, is real pissed about one statue coming down because he had been fighting and putting money together to get another statue built so they could actually have a teaching lesson about it. Mm-hmm. But now that that's...
What was it that he wanted?
I can't remember who he wanted. But it was to show growth.
Right.
And he's like, now I can't put that statue up because it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean as much to show the comparative size, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it like a Booker T. Washington or
somebody like that?
Yeah, like somebody really important in our American history. And it's like, oh, now you ruined it. But you ruined a teaching moment, right? And you're like, oh, man.
I think the idea of anybody who hates it is fucking stupid. Like, white supremacists. So are you not going to eat peanut butter and peanuts and shit like that? Because George Washington Carver figured out 1,000 ways to make the
peanut butter, dude.
No, you're not. So shut the fuck up.
Do they not eat watermelon? Because that was brought from Africa. That's just delicious. Do white supremacists not... I mean, if we got any white supremacists listening, I want to know if you eat watermelon because that was brought from Africa and it's fucking delicious.
Shit is fucking good.
It is. It's like right. It's right up there with strawberries. They're the two best summer things.
I like watermelon better than strawberries.
Well, that's an argument for another day. But I'm saying, right? Like those summer things that you're like, yes, it's finally summer, right?
Anyways, speaking of like protests and shit, I know you're supposed to be throwing the shit at me.
I know that. I was gonna ask you about the tranny hit by the car, because they're having a Black Tranny Lives Matter, which they're hijacking the black. Oh, which I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, trans. You can't hijack the Black Lives Matter.
You don't
movement.
get civil rights. That's only for black people.
I don't care if you're black trans.
No La Raza, no, none of it. You get none of that shit. It's only for black people.
There's no trans lives matter.
No.
It's Black Lives Matter. They've stated that. It's not all lives matter. Not white lives matter. Not blue lives matter. Not trans lives matter. Dogs, cats lives matter. None of that shit. It's Black Lives Matter. Get it right.
Well,
bitches.
I guess they got hit by a car. But you see the video and they're beating the shit out of the car.
So all the reports say car plows through trans protesters. Car rams trans protesters. Oh, once again, it's fake news. It's bullshit. No car rammed any fucking protesters. What happened is the car was coming down the street, had hit its brakes because everybody came into the fucking was in the streets.
Yeah.
Right.
Again.
So they stopped. Obviously, definitely made an attempt to stop. And
Well, they didn't stop for a good.
And they didn't hit anybody then, but you could hear them.
Horn blaring.
Yeah. So they started beeping the horn, like, get the fuck out of the way. So the crowd rushes the car. They're punching on the car, banging and kicking.
Mercedes.
It's a Mercedes. Yes, it's a Mercedes. It's a black Mercedes, and it's nighttime. They got the lights on, and it's like revving its engine. Well, finally, it just gets pissed, and it starts going and going, and then finally, clips one person barely. Good.
Get the fuck
I
out
hope
of the
that teaches you,
road.
because I tell you, stand in my way. I see kids sometimes walking home from the bus, just standing they have a whole fucking line, just oblivious to the fucking world. I would love to plow through them.
But you don't, right?
No, I don't.
But,
I beep the horn or look at them, but they give you the look like,
but here's the thing.
what, I'm walking here. And it's like,
Earlier
yeah,
today,
I'm driving.
We're walking, and a car, we're in a residential, so it's 25, right? A car, no bullshit, 40 miles an hour. And it's like, this is why you don't walk on the fucking road. That person obviously doesn't give a shit about your rights. It doesn't give a shit about you. I care about you, and I care about I know all the little kids' names that are walking around with the bus stop. All of them, right? I make it a point to know all of them. And so
We have little black kids, we have Hispanic kids.
And I'm like, dude, come on, guys. And they're like, oh, hey, and they wave, and I'm waving. Hey, did you have a good day? Whatever. And I get out of the road. Come on, guys. It's dangerous, right? Move, right? That person was going 40 miles an hour in a 25.
And we have some, bends and shit,
Oh, yeah, some blind curves and some, rural area, some hills and shit. And I'm like, dude, if he'd have come through here 10 minutes ago, we'd have all been all across the road. And I'm like, get out of the road. Just get out of the road, right? Protest, that's great. Get your message out, it's fine. Get out
Don't protest
of
on
the
the fucking road. That's
Get
stupid.
out- yeah,
Unless
just
it's
get
already
out.
blocked off or something and everyone knows it's going to be there.
Oh my god.
Don't protest on the road.
It's one
But
of those,
anyways, the idea that these
I think the
fucking trans
thing,
people...
I think that's another ploy to undermine the family and that other stuff. I think they're making people crazy, right? And then trying to champion when they're only this little tiny part. But they're also overshadowing people who actually have a legitimate health issue, and now they're trying to climb on board. And you're like, no, dude, you can play dress up if you want to, but you can't. In California, a first grader was sent to the principal's office for misgendering a classmate. That's crazy. Little kids want order. Your brain automatically judges. It does. I know. Only God can judge. I know. But your brain automatically puts
Everybody
little files.
fucking judges.
They do. But you put files, right? You put files in your brain to say, when I see this, the most likely thing is that is a table, right? Even if it's a short table, a tall table, a little table, that's still a table. Your brain
does that without you even
It does
realizing.
that with people, right? So now you're fucking it all up. What's going to happen to this generation of children that you've stripped away meaning from everything? And that's why they have a 40% suicide rate. They're going to go crazy. They're crazy. And then they want to bitch because one of them got killed the other day.
Why can we see color and race, but we can't see sexuality or gender?
Well, what do you mean?
So, get my words right. The left, I'm going to say the left, has put us in these victimization boxes. right? So there's blacks, there's white people, there's illegals, there's Hispanics, there's legal immigrants.
Yeah.
There's all these different. There's gays, and there's transgender, and we can see all these people, right?
As individual
We see
blocks.
races, right? We can see color. We can see black. We see white. We can see Hispanic. We see cultures, but we don't see genders. That's fluent. That's whatever. So, why can't a white person be a black person? You know what? Why can't Talcum X be really black?
Or Rachel Dozel or whatever.
Yeah, like why can't I speak for the black community? Why can't Ben Carson speak for the white community? Why can't
Well, in that respect, I guess Maxine Waters in her millionaire mansion can speak for the poverty-stricken area that votes for her, right? Like, well, and then I guess you're going to throw out, because I think next is going to be the P in the LGBT barbecue, whatever nonsense.
Before I get there.
Well, then they can just say, well, I identify as a 5-year-old, right? So I should be able to fuck your 5-year-old. Wait a second, what?
Before I get there. No, I'm very serious. Like, I was brought up not to look at color as a defining feature.
Of like who somebody is, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. Like a stereotype.
Yeah, you know, somebody might have big ears. Who gives a fuck? They might be a great person.
Right, yeah, I get it.
You know, and to me, I really don't care if you were born rich or grew up in the hood. If you're a good person, then to me you're good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We share a similar value system and a similar type of drive, or those things that bind people, right?
I don't see that, but it's been shoved down our throats over the last 12 years or so that no color is a big deal.
Or your sexual...
Or your culture. However, who cares who you're laying in bed with?
Right, we were told that. That's what I'm saying. We were told that with the gays, right?
Yeah, who cares about that? Now it's like, well, you can be sexually fluent. Today I can be a male. Tomorrow I can be a female. I can be whoever the hell I want to be. Use the right pronoun. But I can't be a black man, right? I can't represent the black community. I can represent the female community tomorrow if I like, but not the black community or the Hispanic community.
So even though if you identified as black because of the neighborhood you grew up in, like, you couldn't get affirmative action, because then it's cultural appropriation. That's the new word. Well, that's cultural appropriation if like a white person has braids or dreads. They've done that. They've shamed people, and you're like, what? You're telling people that they can dress up, and then you must respect that, and all that, but you're telling somebody they can't do something kind of normal, right? And then all of a sudden that's
this is what I don't understand. And somebody please explain it to me. Okay, so the leaders of communities, right? Mm-hmm. Now I've talked to a lot of black people, and they're like, fuck Al Sharpton and fuck Jesse Jackson as well. They don't represent us. I've heard many black people tell me that. Okay, I agree with you. They're shitheads.
Well, they're race hustlers, right?
Yeah, they're race hustlers. But then when a Sean King, Talcum X, can be a spokesperson who's a white person, who's biologically white,
yeah,
can be in some shape, form, or fashion a spokesperson for the black community, but Ben Carson can't.
Yeah, then he's a coon. He's a race traitor. He's a or because you don't have the same idea.
But also, Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner, can be a spokesperson for the women.
I can't believe she won that Brave Award.
And it's like,
well, firefighters are brave.
Hold on, like,
you mean brave?
I really don't. Look, Eminem is not a spokesperson for the black community, nor is Hootie whatever his fucking name is, a spokesperson for the white community just because they do that type of music.
Right.
You know, we've been pushed to see color, and it's defining. You don't understand what it's like to live black if you're a white person, right?
It's like, aren't we all Americans?
I've been told that many times, and
even if they were like you were neighbors, it's like you don't understand my struggle.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm your neighbor. I live right next to you. I
got the same roaches you got, motherfucker.
Yeah, we sharing roaches and shit. Like,
yeah, when I bomb, they go to your house. When you bomb, they come to my house. That's how the shit works.
Right.
But we can be gender fluid. We can be male and female, however we choose. Why can't I be race fluid? Why can't I be a black person? I mean, I guess, Malcolm X did it. Yeah. Kind of.
They've had a couple others, yeah. Rachel Dolezal or whatever.
Yeah, but she got called out for that shit.
Oh, yeah, but she's still championing it. She's still, and works at, the NAACP or something. She still works for some organization that she's still championing stuff and being like, well, that's just the way I see myself. And you're like, what? Like, to me, that's disrespectful, right? Like, I'm aware that we are different colors. Like, obviously, right?
So if I was a Black Lives Matter organization, these people would be the devil.
Yeah.
Like, seriously,
it's another white person trying to overtake your positive movement from my community.
You would think that Black Lives Matter and the white supremacists would actually kind of somewhat see eye to eye that they don't want to be a part of each other.
Right.
They both kind of want segregation. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of blacks that do. They want it to go backwards in history. They've had black graduations. They want segregated housing in Berkeley or something. And you're like, I don't know why you'd want to go backwards, but I mean...
But they're changing laws to the point where you can't see sexuality or gender. But they're also trying to change laws where you must see race and color and culture.
I don't know how, Americans, I don't care what color, I don't know how they have a different culture than each other. That one blows my mind. Like, I can't figure out, they've been talking about black culture for a long time, and I don't understand how they can have a separate culture. I don't know how whites don't have a culture at all, because that's what they'll tell you. Whites don't have a culture. It's stolen for whatever, right? Like, I didn't steal anything from anybody. I just appeared, right? Like,
we got a culture of thievery then. Talk your shit, bitch.
Whatever, right? But blacks have a culture, Hispanics have, everybody else has a culture, but I'm like, but we're all here together living the same fucking dream or nightmare or whatever it is that you want to say it is, right? Like, we're all here together just trying to get through and trying to get the government to stop stepping on my neck. How do you have subcultures of a culture? But then one group can't have a culture at all because you're just a bunch of racists.
No, I think
this
at the
is
end of
what's
the day,
driving that, like...
I think at the end of the day, I've talked to a lot of different people. And there are people that believe certain ways. I've talked to whites that fucking hate everybody. I talked to blacks that hate everybody. But for the most part, I think a lot of people are pretty centrist. And, I don't think a lot of these groups understand the damage they do. And the shit that they spew, the hate they spew. How that affects us in the middle just trying to make it through.
That's
everyday
like a
life.
rap right there. That was a poem.
What?
That's what I'm saying. The hate that they spew, the things that they do.
Yeah.
And the... Right? Like,
I got skills, baby.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like him. You're in the middle.
But, yeah, I don't think they really understand that shit.
Well, I just don't think it's helpful at all. I just don't. And I do. I think they had a somebody who was a trainee and went back to a hotel and was actually a dude, was not a lady, and dude shot and killed him/her, right? And so the trans community was like, oh, they're killing us. And I'm like, you're a walking lie. Like, I think that's something you should say. Now, I know Loretta Lynch, the former AG, her niece said something about that, and they ganged up her on Twitter. It's like reality check. Most people want to find somebody they can reproduce with, right? Like, that's like the goal in like all of mammal history, right? And if you're lying to me, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, I hear that, that's the natural way of order of things.
But just be honest.
I'm gonna say like this, men
you
are
might
dogs.
be really, no problem.
If a man's taking you to a hotel, he's trying to do some shit.
Yeah.
Right? And in his mind, he's thinking a certain ways this is gonna go down. When you pull out another dick, he wasn't anticipating sword fighting. If that's what he wanted, he would have went to a gay club.
I don't understand how the gays even let them in their group. Like I'm not talking about like the people who have, like I said, there's a legitimate percentage of people that are born with, right, and it sorts itself out later. We've talked about this on the show.
Hermaphrodites.
Right. They have a situation and and I don't think the parents should choose right then and there. I think they should just let it sort out. And I understand that view of allowing people to express themselves and formulate what will happen.
We're not talking about those fucking people.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about that. But if you lie, right? If you steal my reality, I'm going to be pissed. If I thought you were a dude, right, and we started dating and I fall in love and you show up and you can't give me babies because that's what I wanted. I wanted to get married and have kids. I'm going to be livid. What a waste of my life. I'm going to be so mad that you never said anything. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be pissed.
From a dude's perspective,
I'm going to be mad.
If I'm looking for a one-night stand and I get you back in what's between your legs ain't what I was anticipating, yeah, I'm going to fuck you up. The chances are, if I got you to the hotel, I've been kissing your ass and some shit.
Well, now they say, well, that makes you like, transphobic or homophobic.
Goddamn right, I'm transphobic.
Well, it's like, be honest with me. Like, oh, I'm not, actually, we had the same. Okay, cool, right? Like, some people are cool with that, right? Like, some people are like, oh, okay, no difference. You're still good looking. Okay, fine, right? I think you should be honest, right? Just be honest.
Yeah.
But I think that's the end of it. Like, that's all I'm asking. Just be honest, right? And leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids out
I've
of
had
it.
dudes buy me drinks and shit.
And you're like, I'm not really like that.
Like, I'm not down for that.
You want to talk football or something, right? Like, is that how you handle it?
I just say no, thank you. And they're like, well, if you change your mind, let me know.
All right.
Will do.
I mean, you had a friend that was gay, that ended up being gay later, that you're like, it was like one of your buddies, right? And it was like, I don't care that you're gay, right? Like, we're still cool. We still talk football. We still hang out. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those people you kind of already figured anyways.
Yeah.
So, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, don't try to grab my fucking crotch and shit like that.
Well, that's not what you're looking for, right? In life, right?
Yeah.
We're looking for different things. And that should be okay, right? So just be honest, right? Like that whole idea that, like, no, they shouldn't have to, but that just makes something wrong with you. And it's like, no, that makes somebody wrong who's gonna lie. Like, right? Like, you're a dude in a dress who might be real pretty in a wig, but you're still a dude in a dress. Or you're still a chick with a bearded lady, as it were. I need to know that, right? Because I'm looking for something different, right? Like, your lack of reality is impeding my reality, and that's why you're gonna have problems. Like, we should all just be honest, right? Be honest. If you're not embarrassed about what you're about, then you should be honest with what you're about. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You should be honest. But like,
yeah, you should wear a shirt that says big tits and dick.
Right, great. Cool. I'll be like, all right, I'm going to stage left because maybe we'll be cool. Maybe we'll have something in common. And that's fine because you're honest about it. Then I'll respect you because you're honest, right? I have a more...
I'm actually, can you get some of them chicks over here?
Right?
The real chicks.
Right? You might come across a little titty chick who's like, where'd you get your boobs done? Because those are really nice, right? Like, you don't know. If you're just honest, you don't realize how far this conversation could go. Another one was a kindergartner class. A book was read, but I also saw a report, so I don't know if it's the same report, that was read. A book was read about trans people to a kindergarten class, and then I also read that there was like a reveal of another student, but I'm not really sure. I'm a little confused on the stories. And the parents didn't know, and the kids came home flipping out. right? Because little kids, like we go back to your brain, little kids are trying to figure out the world around them. They're trying very hard to identify things around them.
Yeah, you can't bring Bobby to school one day and then he's Barbara.
Well, it was the first day of school. But then to go in through his history, like, why didn't you just let him be, like, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, but it doesn't matter, but, like, just for argument's sake, let's say it's a little boy, right, who wants to be a girl, and the little girl comes to school. Nobody will ever know.
No.
Right? Like, I don't know why you had to have a reveal. I don't know you had to read a book about it. I don't know why you had to talk about it.
No. Fuck that shit. No. So, that's, once again, sexualizing children. You shouldn't sexualize children. Children don't need to be worrying about what the fuck their gender are in kindergarten. Because they're not having fucking sex. It's fucking... That's disgusting and it's bullshit. And I tell you what, as soon as I hear that there's some fucking shit like that going on in the elementary school here, I'm pulling my kids out.
I'm shocked that the parents didn't. That they just called the school and were pissed off. I'd have lost my shit. I'd have lost my shit. Like, first off, yes, I agree when that's not, we're more than our parts. Yeah, we fucking are. Little kids don't have any parts. They aren't familiar with any of it, right? Like, no clues, right? They require you as the parent to give them the clues, right? That's it, right? You have boy parts, you're a boy. That coincides. Right? Why I like pink? That's fine. Whatever, right? Like, but you're still a dude. You're still a boy. You have boy parts, you're a boy. Right? And you can dress up. You know what I was fucking more like, but like this focusing on gender and stuff belies science. It's a lie to science. It's not real.
There's no reason that shit should be talked about, taught, or part of any children's curriculum in elementary school. You don't need to prance fucking transgenders. Do you prance a black kid in front of a school? Like, this is your black student. This is your Asian student. This is your gay student. No.
What do they know about
even if the kid even fucking thinks he's fucking trans, which so many people fucking question their sexuality at a young age. Right? And kids as far as elementary school have no fucking idea about sexuality, for one. There's no fucking reason to bring that up and prance them out. What that's doing is they're trying to fucking melt your child's fucking brain.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you put, if everybody's brains work in like a file collection system like a computer, I mean that's what computers are based off of, is the brain, right? And your file department is a fucking shit show, your life is going to be a shit show, right? Right? That's what, right? It's just, I don't even know why you would have this discussion with little kids. I don't know why you would have a reveal or read a book. Fuck all that. To me, I'm like, that's child abuse, and you've gone well above what you're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be learning about facts, not about social stuff. No, we don't talk about social issues. We're not talking about that shit in school. You're supposed to be learning facts, right? Facts.
Well, they say Columbus discovered America. So the school system...
He still sailed the blue in 1492.
Yeah.
It still happened. It doesn't... That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. It doesn't matter.
He hit some islands, though. He didn't actually hit America.
Dude, really? You're blind your own point. You go to school to learn facts. They are not a social justice factor, nor should they be used as such, right? If you have to get in the discussion about religion because of what people found in different areas, right? And you want to talk about all religions, okay, fine, whatever, right? Like, it's going to come up, right? Because that's the way we were founded, Israel's founded, in a lot of countries, right? That's the way it is, right? We fought and warred, and the Muslim hordes came, and they took over Syria and Iraq and Iran, right? Whatever, right? That's a factual statement, right?
Okay.
It's a factual statement. Fine. But we don't need to get into the details, right? It's just stick to the facts. You are not a social justice factory, and then schools have turned into social justice factories. And you're like, no, that's wrong.
It's cultural Marxism.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that a famous quote?
What?
Can you pull that one out of your ass? That famous quote, like, if you give me your children, I'll own them for,
Oh, yeah. That was Lenin.
Yeah.
It said,
Something about...
give me your children for the first 12 years and I'll have them for a lifetime. I think it is what it is.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, this is dangerous. This is really dangerous territory, right? And I know that they like to lie. You got Linda Sassor out there like, oh, well, you know, in Sharia, you don't have to pay credit card interest.
Sharia, you get thrown off a building if you're fucking gay.
They can stone you, right? If you can't whore around. You can't do that shit.
You can't be raped either.
Nope, they're gonna stone you. It's your fault. A man rapes you, it's your fault. You must have done something wrong. You're gonna get stoned in a court square of
I believe you need 2 to 1 in the court system.
2 women equal 1 man's thing, so you have to have a woman that's gonna stand up for you. But most likely, if you lose the case, you're both gonna get stoned to death, right? It's no.
What was that, Bobby? Everybody wants to get stoned.
Yeah, a little bit different. So anyway, speaking of that, so moving on from the trans issues that we stand.
Thank God.
Yeah. So in the last week, we've got Barcelona with the 2 vans. They finally caught the other one, the other dude. He was shot because he had like a blow up vessel. Today, Friday, August 20th.
So we're about to get into some terrorist shit.
Right. So then you have a machete attack in Brussels, right? And then in Buckingham Palace, you had a sword attack. A sword. Right? Because they don't have guns, right? So this is why I don't understand why they're already bringing up the gun department with Charlottesville. You should ban guns. You shouldn't allow guns at a protest. Like, what?
So
you need a van, a machete, and a sword.
Before I get started on this one, let me pause for 1 second. So go ahead and pause.
All right.
All right. So more terrorist attacks. Amazing.
Yeah. 3 in the last
3 in a week?
I want to say there's actually been more than that, but I couldn't recall the names, so I couldn't find them quickly.
Okay,
because they bury this shit. Because they've been talking about Confederate statues when people are dying.
Well, here's what I'm going to say first. Like I said, I loved it or enjoyed it, but it was amazing how the Barcelona one, which was the van, was a copycat of Charlottesville.
By Wolf Blitzer? What an asshole. Like, no, maybe it's a copycat of fucking Nice, you dickface. Oh my god. Ugh.
Well, no, they had also one on the London Bridge, I believe it was.
Yeah.
A month or so ago. Where they got out with knives and some shit.
Yup.
There was like 4 or 5 of them.
Yup.
So, I mean, there's no copycat there. There's... maybe in Charlottesville it was a copycat.
Well, apparently he's got schizophrenia and he freaked out. I'm not saying he should still have a car accident, but that's the current thing.
Fucking hang that guy, but...
yeah, make an example of
these terrorist attacks. These terrorist attacks. I think it's amazing, and it really has nothing to do with the terrorist attacks themselves. That it goes back to the left. That they are so unwilling to name radical Islam terrorists, right? But they are so willing to name any white person with a contradicting opinion as a Nazi.
Well,
so they can broad stroke, paintbrush groups, but
yeah,
other people can't.
Well, it's like we fucking know not all Muslims. I know. I listened to a guy who, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. You know what I'm talking about, the glasses, who's got the Reformation Party, and then you got the girl, the Ali say, I don't want to screw up her name, because I think she's brilliant.
Ali's, yeah, I know what
right, and then you got the ex ISIS guy, McHottie Pants, right, and he does stuff with the BBC. I don't know his name, he's been on Fox, but we call him, ISIS McHottie Pants, because I can't remember his name. But he talks about, he's like, I was in it, right, as a young man, and he talks about it, right? And so it's like, we know not all Muslims. We get it, right?
We get that
this
not all Muslims
radicalization
are
is out of
terrorists.
control.
Not all Muslims are terrorists.
Of course not. But all white people are Nazis. Ugh. That's the issue. And it's like, now you're taking away from... There was a... Right, like, the whole thing that started off the Syrian... the Syrian fleeing to the countries, which is now actually Somalian and Moroccan and not actually Syrian, was a dead boy on the beach. And it was plastered all over. He's like a 4-year-old boy.
Yeah.
When really it was the fact that his dad, the boat was over full and tossed him over, right? It was something like that. Like he drowned because it was over full, right? We need to help all these people, women and children, right? When you see the pictures, it's men. It's militant aged men, right? All the women, if you look at pictures of Syria, you have a huge fighting force of females because they're the only ones left to defend their homes, right? It's crazy. They're all young women who've left their kids or whatever, and their moms are watching their kids to fight. Like, you left your home. Like, that makes you just disgusting to me, right? Like, you wouldn't defend your home. You wouldn't, right? But anyways, in the Spanish attack, in the Barcelona attacks, right, there's a picture of a little body. And I lost it. Like, I saw it live, and I just, tears over some kid I don't know. And I'm like, what the fuck
same thing
is going
with
on in
Denise,
society?
and you seen the teddy bear.
Oh my God. I can't do it, right? Like, I can't, as a human being, I can't wrap my mind around this violence. I can't wrap my mind around the excuses that I hear, you know? Well, no, Muslims. Like, yeah, I fucking know, but there's fucking dead people, man.
I agree, not all Muslims, but at the end of the day, just like Trump says, a lot of other people say,
It's a fucking problem.
it's a problem. And the Muslim community needs to help
Yes.
with identifying these terrorist cells. They're not doing anything. They're not, if your local imam is spewing hate, you need to turn them in.
Well, here in America, like, we've talked about this before on the show, right? Like, that, like, well, you're an apostate, right? So they don't want to say anything because then, right, backlash will come at them.
It's the same thing as
In
snitching.
America, that shit doesn't happen, right? Like, we'll protect you, right? Like, for real. Right? America is very big on protecting people. We'll move you out. They have the...
Witness protection.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, dude, this violence, it just makes me want to vomit. They had a little boy threatening Trump. He's like a little Christian, what is he, 7?
Yeah.
4? With a video to Trump. He's a little American boy. And you're like, oh my God. They strap their kids with vests. Oh my God. I can't. It just sickens me.
There's a growing problem with Islam.
Yeah.
Point blank. I've read a little bit of like the Quran and the ideology and stuff. They kill each other.
Yeah.
And at a remarkable rate.
Yeah.
So they don't really just want to kill anybody who's not Muslim. They're willing to kill regular Muslims.
Because you have like factions, like we have in Christianity, right? You have Catholics and you have the Protestants that are all of the other, right?
So the two big ones are the Shiite and the Sunni. And they've been at war for years. I don't mean like a decade, like
1400 or something, right? Since the death of Muhammad's son or
grandson,
right? Grandson, right?
And what
And
that
then you
was
have the
from,
Kurds.
and I can't remember
That's
what side Muhammad's grandson was part of, the Sunni or the Shiite.
Right.
But he was part of one of them, and they were a little bit more. When you hear about Islam's peace and love, they were more that style.
Yeah, one of them is more like more
Accepting of others, but
Right.
they believe their own shit. But
Not
he was
like
more
yours.
passive,
right.
right? The other side was like, no, death to all. Wanted to continue
Either
crusades.
convert or die, right?
Yeah, convert or die, like pretty much crusade type shit.
Right.
And what happened with that is that Muhammad's grandson was supposed to meet with them to have a discussion, so he brought like 40 of his men with him. And they were supposed to like meet on a neutral ground.
Right.
And they brought all 5,000 of their people and just slaughtered them. And that's why they've been at war since.
Right.
Right? The Sunni and the Shiite.
Do you think that ISIS itself hijacked the religion to get more followers, to battle it out for domination? Because I've heard from ISIS McHottie Pants, that I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. One day I'll remember it. But he said they're gunning for a specific part of Syria. He said this.
Yeah.
They're gunning for a specific part of Syria that's in their doctrine. It's like no man's land.
That's going to start the Holy War.
That's going to start the Holy War to bring upon the apocalypse.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody is interested in what the apocalypse is, but I don't want that.
There's also talks from, and I found small correlations to some of the Jewish,
like Talmud or like regular.
The Talmud teachings is very not only blasphemous but
to a Christian
suppressing to all other people, even to other Jews, as far as I understand. And if you're a Jewish person, you can tell me more about it. Please come and tell me, because I'm interested. But as far as I understand, it goes back to I'm gonna fuck this guy's name all up. But his name is Shabbatai Savitsi.
Okay.
And he is the leader of the Sabbatean movement. And he actually had to convert to Muslim, but he never actually converted. And their movement is to go ahead and become Christian or Muslim or whatever. And it was basically the idea that everybody wants the apocalypse, right? Because you want the second coming.
Okay. I think everybody but the Christians. I think most Christians are like, hell no. I don't want the devil to reign over the earth. Like,
but
no.
the devil's not going to reign over the earth, because at the end of the day, God, in the story, God, they battle out, God wins. And the rightful owners of the land become. Right?
Yeah, but I would still think if you went to a Christian church and asked.
No, I'm not saying Christians want this.
Oh, that's what you said. Everyone. So I was just clarifying. I think if you went, they're trying like, no, we don't want the apocalypse. It's gonna be
but they're all. I've heard a lot of them like, we're ready for it, because in Judgment Day, I'll be accepted.
Okay, all right.
You hear that?
Okay.
But
religious wars are hard.
so there's a thought process. Like, the only way that it happens, maybe not the apocalypse, but the second coming or the God comes down, is when one or two things happen, which is either the land is fueled with the worst, right, or everybody gets along peacefully and everybody agrees. Well, no one's ever going to always agree, and you're not going to have this utopia. So it's harder to convert people and finally get to the point where everyone's Jewish or everyone's Christian or everyone's Muslim, right?
Right.
So if you bring out the debauchery in the world, so the thought process is also that God has two arms and two hands. He does the good and the evil in the world, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like,
no, I don't. But go ahead and continue.
So everything that good and evil that happens is from God. He lets this happen.
Well,
so
in the Christian faith, that would be incorrect. But
I'm not talking about the Christian faith.
Okay, I'm just saying. So okay, go ahead.
So it can be God's work to do the negative,
right?
And also
you're
the positive.
Supposed to resist it, right? And go. For
so instead of thou shalt not kill. Or murder,
right.
Thou shalt murder, thou shalt steal, thou shalt. So, in this Sabbatean movement, they were having orgies and doing a lot of
Degeneracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And they were real secretive, and it's like you get into the underbelly of religions, and you were going to corrupt them.
Okay.
Right? So, I see ISIS of something like that. And there's small correlations to that ideology because, like, I don't think all Muslims want to kill everybody. Yes, they would love if everybody praised Muhammad.
Well, there's a lot of Muslims that practice here, and I think Minnesota, right, like is like the big, right, or some in Michigan or something like that, and they don't even wear the burqa. Like they look like normal, right? Like we would expect. Like they're very westernized kind of people. Iran was very westernized, for the most part, but still Muslim.
Only the Middle Eastern Muslims
in the 70s
are the ones that really wear that garb.
Right.
Like I've met a lot of African, like from Africa, not like Nation of Islam, like Louis Farrakhan, Shine,
right?
Muslims. No, but straight like from Africa. And I talked to a couple of them, and
they ain't about that life.
Not like that, but they definitely hold those same values that, you know.
Well, don't be whorish. You know, be appropriate, be modest, right? Like, well, I mean, that's a Christian values as well, right?
Well, they laugh. And they're like, well, American women are sluts.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, because the feminist movement convinced everyone to give away the vagina for free, right? Rather than, they used to take you out and open your door and throw cloaks on the ground. Chivalry died because of women, not because men became shitheads.
Right? I can open my own door, bitch.
Well, it's like, all right, fine, and pay for your own meal and just give it up for free. Well, now I'm liberated. No, you're not liberated. You just gave it away for free. Guess what? So is everyone else. Now you're not special, right? Nobody's fighting for your attention. Nobody's fighting to wife you and to take care of you. And yeah, I know the patriarchy, they turned into something ugly, but they pulled this, that women are miserable. But the women that are in monogamous, healthy, loving, stay-at-home mom relationships, way happier. No, not to broad brush. Not every woman is meant for that. Some women are very career-driven. That's cool, right? We're America. You can do that, right? You don't have to do that. There's a lot of stay-at-home dads now, you know? But
not me.
But to say that, like, well, all women should be out in the workforce is not true. There's a lot of women that are like, they don't want that. But they're frowned upon if they don't. Well, you're not educated, or if you don't get educated, there's something wrong. Or you're bowing to the patriarchy. They've made it ugly to pride shaping the future of our nation, right? That's not, like, being a mom. That's like the most important job I've ever done.
So.
But now it's like an ugly ooh, right? And it's crazy. But then you see the naked women in the streets. I'm a slut.
You're talking about like the ISIS and terrorists, and I think a lot of them could be like hijacked religion. Yes, they took the worst of that ideology and ran with it, right? Just like the Westboro Baptist Church takes the worst of Christianity, hates all gays and this and that. Now, they're not throwing people off buildings.
They missed the Enlightenment period that happened, 1,000 years ago, or whatever it was.
At the end of the day, there's a major problem with the Islamic religion. Because they have, just like, if all Jews were to follow the Talmud,
yeah,
the Jewish nation or people,
right,
would be looked upon as supremacist, hate-mongering type people. Right? Because there's quotes and stuff in the Talmud that are really blasphemous.
By Jesus, Christian standards, right?
Oh, big time.
Right.
Jesus burning fiery.
There's a lot of Jews that are like, I don't get down on that, right?
Yeah.
And you understand it.
Now, most Jew, all just about every Jew I've ever met would be like, well, I don't believe in your Jesus.
Right.
But they're not hateful at the same time. Like, that's kind of an asinine statement. Like, they'll make asinine statements.
Well, yeah, but you can banter because we're all children of Abraham or something like that. You have something in common, right? Like, whatever.
But the Talmud teaches, like, actual hate.
Right.
And, you know, where the Goyim is filthy animals. We're like cattle.
Well, that's the same thing that the Quran, parts of the Quran will say.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a hijacked part of the religion.
Right. To take the worst parts of something.
Yes. Right?
And then convert. Oh, and what makes me sad is that you think back in the 70s, if you look at pictures of like Iran and Iraq, and you think that's where essentially like Jesus was born, right? And you look at these nations that were still Muslim, right? And they're wearing mini skirts, and they look normal. They're very westernized, right? And a lot of people fled, right, with the overthrow when they went like serious, right? It'd be like the Amish people rising up and making everyone be Amish here, right? Like, we know the Amish settled here, and then them taking over and making all of us live their way, right? So a lot of them fled to America, right? And now, like, because there's not enough voices, we can't protect them either, right? But you know that they came here in the 70s
to get away from that.
To get away from that. To follow their religion, to be one with God, and it like that upsets me, right? Like when they make these like inflammatory statements and it's
like you're a true social justice warrior.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not fair, because there's a history here, but I need more people to speak out for some real justice. And
like Trump actually like hit it on the head when he talked about Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein.
Yes. Well, Gaddafi had said that.
Well, like, so you look at Gaddafi. I'm not saying he was the greatest person ever.
No.
I'm not saying
that
Hussein
big water project.
But
I mean,
I've done research on Gaddafi. They were a very prosperous country. Very prosperous. Very rich. And he did it by gathering, like, Libya was actually like 12 fucking rogue tribes.
Right.
And he sat down and talked to them all. He was like, look, this is how we can do this. And became like a conglomerate.
Right.
Right? A nation.
Right.
Right? He built that big aqueduct system for the Middle East. Out of their own money.
Right.
There's actually, like, I've read parts of his, I think it's his green book. It's his ideology, and that's how he went through the country. Now, they had Sharia law.
Yeah.
I don't agree with Sharia law here for the States. But it worked there. And the people, it worked for them.
But right.
And I don't think that the United States should be a part of trying to liberate other countries. Because all that did was, once again, create a vacuum, and the worst of the worst prevailed.
Right.
And, you know, like that's why...
Well, like, Gaddafi warned of that. Like, if like, right now I have control, and we have peace, we have prosperity, and I'm working on, and he did everything that Clinton and Obama wanted, and then he got murdered in the streets, and then you're thinking, well, why is anybody else going to do that? Right? Like North Korea, right? You want them to stop violence. Let's not threaten each other. Let's do different things. And so why would anybody else do that? Right? Like, you see what he did to Gaddafi. You see what he did to Saddam. You mean he was shot, right? I want to say he was shot. He had an actual trial. Even Gaddafi didn't get that.
No, Gaddafi
he was
got
sodomized. I mean, it's
sodomized.
disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I mean, of course people are going to hate you. Thanks, Obama and Clinton. Ugh. Oh, God.
But I don't think, exactly, like, we should be trying to liberate people. And we thought we were helping them out, and we're bringing it here. If we disagreed with what was going on there, why are we bringing it here? Because that same ideology is there.
Yeah. And in a way, I can understand the hatefulness against America because of what has been done. By the
just
past.
like I understand why North Korea dislikes us.
I can.
They were bred to do that.
Yeah, I understand in the past, like, how we got where we are. Well, how do we diffuse it? How do we, be like, all right, no more, right? No more. I did, at first, when I first heard Trump's Afghanistan speech,
I didn't get to hear that.
Like a blanket, duh. Afghanistan speech. I heard it, and he's sitting in front of a whole group. It's kind of somber. He's sitting in this whole group of military, right? And you got to remember, Mike Pence, his son is a Marine. He's stationed overseas, and so is a couple other people that are in the cabinet. Their sons are part of the military. So I believe him when he says he takes this stuff very seriously. And a lot of people were dismayed that he said he's going to send a little bit more troops. He's not going to say how many. But their strategy is different. And a lot of people were like, oh.
From what I've heard, that they're giving them an opening. Like they've had to sit there and they can't react. They can't do anything.
Correct. It's like, don't
now it's kind of like, do your jobs.
Yes. Well, I actually...
Kind of like the Border Patrol.
Right. I've read a lot of military personnel's comments on this one. I went hunting them down, and a lot of people were really excited who are in the military, because what they said was,
oh, they're sitting ducks.
They're sitting ducks. They said what would happen is you'd have a commander who's got a group of 50 aides around them, and everything's got to go through a chain of command. What Trump is doing is allowing them to make the decision in the moment, knowing full well that they own the outcome, right? There is another side to this. You own the outcome, right? If you get a bunch of people killed, you're going to get court-martialed, right? You're going to be held accountable. There's no more of this calling hours later, Benghazi issues, right? Mm-hmm. That's not what's going to happen. So they've been unchained. And they feel like that. It's the same thing that happened in Vietnam. They were sent, and then they had to sit there like sitting ducks. And then when they left, I mean, 1 million Cambodians were murdered? Right? Say what you want about Vietnam, whether we should have been involved or not, but once you're there and trying to stabilize, oh my God. The death toll is outrageous. But so a lot of military people were very excited about what Trump said and letting them do their job, letting them stabilize the situation, and then they're coming home, right? This is a winning strategy versus a long-term, drawn-out whatever's been going on. So it wasn't necessarily a retraction from his campaign promise. Military people were really excited from across the board on whatever military they were in. They were really excited. So hopefully this will be over quickly, and then they can come home. Because I think that's what a lot of people want. They're anti-war on the left. Well, a lot of people on the right are anti-war too. Just because we support soldiers doesn't mean we support war. And that's a misconception, right? I'm not with the neocons of the Republican Party. I think they're devils. McCain, screw you.
Well, they're all in bed together.
They are, right? And it's disgusting. But anyways, so hopefully we'll hear more about that. Do you have any more on the attacks? You good?
Well, yeah, a lot of shit happened. A
lot of dead people. That's just sad.
We can report about that, but it's horrific, and people should open their eyes. I see people overseas. The same shit that's happening here. We need to turn a blind eye to it and just accept. But no, we shouldn't accept. We need to pay attention, close attention. If you want to pay attention to a cop shooting a black male every time, we need to pay attention to every action. Why doesn't everything get news coverage?
I agree.
Stop.
If it doesn't fit their narrative, the MSN is not going to cover it. Even if it would further your black agenda or your gay agenda or your what. Orlando was like, oh, they tried to bring out, which was totally debunked, that he had some gay lover.
Yeah.
All those gay people, they don't give a shit about us, right? Go listen to Ice-T and No Lives Matter off his new Body Count album. Go listen to that. That's for real. They don't give a shit about us. They just want us to fight with each other. Mm-hmm. It's retarded.
All right. So, Yeah, I mean, that's when I think we talked for well over an hour and a half.
Got a lot to show. A lot of shit happened in a week that they try not to cover because they were talking about stupid monuments.
And I apologize for not putting out any content on some of this shit. That's what made this a little bit longer. But there was so much going on. I doing research and trying to get my thoughts right on a lot of shit. But it is what it is. Leave you with this. Cultural Marxism is real. It's coming. Look out for it. Rally against it. It's bullshit. Pedogate, Pizzagate is real. Don't let it happen. Save the children. And fuck Antifa. Peace.